recession. Like we all know the recession's over.
Right.
Right. I mean,
that's what they say.
They're telling us on television in the news, like the recession's
got to be
over.
true.
Has to be true.
Has to be true.
Right. So you don't feel like the recession's over.
No, it's a bunch of crap. It's total crap.
Yeah.
I mean, and understand too. I mean, we got a lot of political agendas going on here. We got the Fed stuck between a rock and a hard place between political pressure and then what they're supposed to be doing. I mean, there's all kinds of weird stuff going on. And even if even if you haven't been listening to the news, you can still feel like there's something not quite adding up, right? How is it that we have the lowest unemployment rate in history? How is it that still, even though we had skyrocketing prices and skyrocketing inflation, still people seem to be doing just fine, even though their wages haven't even kept up with that inflation? I mean, you have all this stuff happening. It just doesn't seem to add up, does it? It seems like there's got to be at some point where it has to slow down. And things never go in a straight line. We know this. I mean, we've been around the block long enough.
Yeah.
You know, I've got enough gray hair to in fact, most of these green hairs came from those times, right?
Yeah.
It's from all that crap that's happened, and there's always cycles. And
we talk about how it's not adding up, you know, like I remember even like, I want to say 6 months ago, heck, it might have been a year ago. We're just watching everything happening and we're saying this inflation is unsustainable and we're going to have a recession. And like the feds are raising their rates to force pain upon us. And yet we go to the mall and you can't find parking.
Right.
And you go to the restaurant and it's still like a 45, 60-minute wait. And it's like, the data tells me there should be more problems.
Right.
But there doesn't appear to be a whole lot of problems, at least on the outside. It seems like everyone's continuing on like it's no big deal.
Yeah. It's like the Lego movie. Everything is awesome. Right?
Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome.
Right.
Yeah. You're right, because the feds actually have said, they've admitted, they said their whole purpose is to, one, get their rates higher than inflation, but two, they also want to make sure that there's some kind of pain.
There has to be.
There has to be some pain.
Yes.
Like they want layoffs. They want people to lose their jobs.
It's not a secret. This is not a conspiracy theory. Like they've
No.
said.
Over and over.
We need more suffering. It's not their words. We need more job loss. We need more unemployment. Right?
Yeah. They want to see it in check more, because they know if there's full employment, it's going to keep driving prices up, and they want to control that inflation, right?
Right. They want to adjust demand. They want to reduce demand. And the best way to reduce demand is for people to lose jobs.
Which is such a dumb way to do it. There's multiple ways to do it, right? That's the old method they've always used.
Well, they only have one tool.
They're only using one tool, which is the interest rates, right?
Yeah.
They said they had multiple tools in their toolbox, remember in 2020, right? And they talk about selling off their balance sheet. They're not slowing down their spending. They're still printing like crazy. So if they really want inflation to stop, why do they keep printing more money? Why do they keep making it easier to keep full employment? It just doesn't seem to make sense.
Have they not slowed down? I have not paid attention to the money printing.
Yeah, the money supply is still higher than it was pre-2020.
Well, it's definitely higher.
Yeah, but
have they not tried to call some of that back, or is raising interest rates not a function of calling? I'm still kind of unclear on this principle. I thought by raising interest rates, it's causing borrowing to go down. By causing borrowing to go down, they are reducing their balance sheets. But is that not how it works?
It's not. No, I mean, the feds, they have their own balance sheets, of course, and they're supposed to be selling it off. But in March of this year, they actually bought a bunch more. So they actually pumped more money in the economy, which is, again, is the opposite of what they claimed, right? They were still raising rates, and then they pumped more money in. So it's like one thing is not like the other.
Right.
It's not quite matching up, is
they're
it?
still printing money.
So they're still printing money. They're still going bullish on the dollar, or really, and probably if you think about it, with all the debt and the spending that needs to happen, right? Especially with the government having their debt crisis happening, like, oh, where's the ceiling going to be? You know, they're obviously caught in a tough place because they're elected by politicians, but they're supposed to be independent of politicians, right? But it's like saying, oh, no, I don't care about my boss. No, my boss doesn't influence me. Yeah, but the boss is the one that hired you. Of course they influence you. Yeah, and they can remove you. If they don't like what you're doing, if it makes it look less favorable for their party, they're going to fire you, right? So we got all these games going on here that's affecting us day after day. And you're like, when you follow the data, like credit card spending is up. Balances are higher. They actually hit about the $1 trillion mark at this point.
Well, I would say not that spending is up, although that may be. Another way to look at it is that total credit card debt is higher than it's ever been before.
Right.
Right. And people were paying down some of their debt with the stimulus money.
Yeah, they were.
Right. So like we saw credit card debt as a country altogether go down.
Yeah.
And then the moment the stimulus checks stopped coming, people didn't adjust their lifestyles.
That's right.
They just maxed out their credit cards.
Yep. Savings rates go down. So that's the thing you watch. You watch what happens to savings rates, credit card balances, and then you look for like auto loan defaults, right? Because when you get auto loan defaults, that's not good because that's something that people usually need. It's like house foreclosures, but it usually comes first, right? And so we're seeing that number go up. So everything's showing that people are just consuming the money that was given to them 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of moving to a place where they're just like, oh, I'll spend out, get rid of whatever I can, sell off my assets, things like that. But at what point does it get to where they say, I got nothing left, right? I'm stuck.
If you enjoyed what you just watched, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss another video.